If you look around at the remnants of your ambitions, a dusty guitar in the corner, a website half-constructed, and abandoned baking tools sitting unused, you may find yourself grappling with a unique type of shame. You might recognize the label society has placed on you, dilettante. They say you're scattered, undisciplined, and lacking the grit to stick to one path. This judgment may lead you to internalize the phrase, "Jack of all trades, master of none," repeating it to yourself like a decree. However, this saying is only part of the truth. The complete quote reminds us that while a jack of all trades may not master one skill, they can often be more adaptable and innovative than someone who sticks to a single specialty. Psychology offers an enlightening perspective. What feels like chaos might be a form of adaptation. You are not failing to specialize. Instead, you may be unknowingly constructing a unique cognitive structure, often referred to as an M-shaped mind. For much of the last century, success was seen as an I-shaped endeavor. The norm was to dig deeply into one singular skill or career path, much like playing golf where the rules remain stable. And practicing one swing for thousands of hours would lead to victory. But today's world is different. It's a wicked environment where change is rampant and unpredictable. Industries can collapse overnight, AI can alter job descriptions, and skills that were once relevant can become obsolete in a matter of years. In this tumultuous landscape, your mind adapts, often before you consciously understand the shifts occurring around you. You may find yourself in phases of interest, one year engrossed in HVAC systems, the next swept up in yoga or DJing. To an outsider, this might appear aimless, but to your brain, it is a strategic navigation through a dynamic reality. The concept of far transfer is crucial in this context. Specialists tend to rely on near transfer, using familiar tools for familiar problems. In contrast, generalists, particularly those filled with curiosity, engage in far transfer, applying knowledge and principles from one domain to completely unrelated fields, leading to innovation. Consider a web developer who once tended to beehives and farmed. On the surface, this seems disconnected, yet the insights gained from agriculture inform their approach to software development. They grasp organic growth, understand ecosystem balance, and apply concepts like seasonal cycles to cultivate systems rather than merely write code. This cross-domain synthesis is not random. It is a profound integration of knowledge that can foster innovation. Despite the depth specialists achieve, you may feel like an imposter, doubting your worth because you haven't delved as deeply into a single area. You walk into rooms filled with experts, perceiving their depth as superiority. But the truth is, your strength lies in integration. Specialists create building blocks while you envision the overall architecture. They refine tools, but you connect disparate tools into useful systems. In stable environments, specialists might dominate, but in our ever-changing world, it is the synthesizers who lead the way. You are not scattered, you are sampling. You are not unfocused, you are mapping a vast terrain. You are not simply quitting, you are gathering patterns. The M-shaped mind doesn't just dig 1 mile deep into one area. Instead, it explores multiple areas deeply and then forges connections among them. This is where insights emerge and breakthroughs occur. While society still places a premium on narrow mastery, the future increasingly rewards those who can weave together knowledge from diverse fields, bridging disciplines and identifying patterns that others overlook. Your incomplete projects are not signs of failure. They illustrate your journey of exploration. Exploration is the cradle of innovation, and acknowledging your curiosity as a superpower is liberating. Yet, even with this understanding, you might still feel an overwhelming sense of being left behind. You see peers advancing to senior positions, becoming lead engineers or founders, while you feel as if you're still at the starting line. This feeling can be disheartening, but it's essential to honor the path you're on. Embrace your exploration. It fosters creativity and adaptation and ultimately positions you for future success in a world that thrives on innovation.
You may feel as if you're constantly switching tracks, struggling to find your focus. However, the true challenge lies in misunderstanding the geometry of your own potential. You are not simply T-shaped, possessing broad knowledge with one deep expertise. Instead, you are M-shaped, capable of constructing multiple pillars of depth. These pillars are interconnected through a bridge of curiosity, creating a rich mosaic of your talents and interests. Yet, there's a critical trap to avoid. Trying to build all these pillars simultaneously can lead to burnout. This feeling of exhaustion is not a reflection of your capabilities, it's a sign that you are attempting to master everything in parallel when, in fact, success comes from what I call serial mastery. True polymaths understand that they do not need to juggle every interest at once. Instead, they work in seasons, treating life not as a single continuous climb but as a sequence of focused constructions. Your 20s could have been dedicated to music and art, while your 30s might focus on programming and financial growth. This does not mean you are abandoning your artistic pursuits, it signifies that you are completing a season of your life. Picture this process like constructing pillars one at a time. In each season, you pour concrete into one column, allowing the other pillars to remain paused, not demolished. Consider the story of a man in his 50s who eventually found peace with this concept. He struggled to choose between his passions for art and programming. Upon realizing he couldn't do both simultaneously, he made a decisive choice. Programming became the pillar supporting his livelihood, while his love for music, philosophy, and game design thrived in his free time. He intentionally avoided high-pressure leadership roles to protect his energy, permitting his passions to exist in a sequential manner. Over the years, those pillars converged into his personal video game projects, illustrating the M shape in action. This leads us to an evolutionary advantage: redundancy. In biology, redundancy is not a sign of inefficiency but of survival. Complex organisms develop backup systems to ensure that if one pathway falters, another can take over. This concept applies to your diverse interests. If you limit your identity to being a specialist software engineer and automation disrupts that profession, your entire stability is at risk. However, if you expand your identity to include teaching, building, repairing, designing, and communicating, you become more adaptable. This adaptability isn't due to scattered interests, rather, it's the result of constructing optionality, an essential power in an unpredictable world. You are not dabbling, you are wisely diversifying your cognitive portfolio. Now, consider the guitar languishing in the corner of your room. It doesn't represent failure, it's merely a semester of exploration. That unfinished website project? Another semester. The baking tools, martial arts classes, and philosophy books signify further semesters of growth. You haven't been quitting, instead, you've been sampling diverse domains and discovering intricate patterns within them. Eventually, often when you least expect it, those patterns will converge, leading to the integration of your M shape. It's in these moments that others may label you as innovative, unaware of the non-linear journey you took to get there. You were never meant to confine yourself to just one area of expertise. You possess the ability to connect disparate worlds, bridging gaps that typically remain uncrossed. In an era of swift changes and uncertainties, these bridges hold far more value than silos. If this message resonates with you and you're prepared to stop apologizing for your unique, non-linear path, let that be a commitment you make today. Furthermore, if you seek a deeper exploration of how to structure your life into seasons that maintain your balance and energy, consider subscribing for more insights and joining our newsletter community. Remember, your journey has never been behind, it has always been multidimensional, rich with potential waiting to be realized.